So, but before we get started today, I also gave you the Tirzah of the Yaakov. Okay. Wait. I want to teach you one that you don't know. Okay. When I was in Yerushalayim, Rabbi Koenig was the one who taught me this very lovely nigun which goes Omer Hashem leYaakov Yo tate yo foter yo Al tiro avde Yaakov nein foter nein Als far keinem kann eure haben nur far Gott allein Bocher Hashem leYaakov Yo tate yo foter yo Al tiro avde Yaakov nein foter nein Wir haben von keinem kein Meure zu haben, nur von dir allein. We'll do two more. Gal Hashem Yaakov, Yo tate yo foter yo. Al tiro avdi Yaakov, nein, tate nein. Wir haben von keinem kein Meure zu haben, nur von dir allein. Dorach koicha v'Yaakov Yo tate yo foter yo Al tiro avdi Yaakov nein, tate nein Wir wollen von keinem kein Meure haben nur von dir allein. Then of course there's the Benzion Schenker one. Then we continue. Habaim Yashrish Yaakov Al tira avdi Yaakov Vayerd mi Yaakov Al tira avdi Yaakov Zechor zod le Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Chedvat Yeshuot Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Tovo alecho Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Yoru mishpotecha le Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Ki lo nachash be Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Lo ibitoven be Yaakov Al tiro avdi Yaakov Mimano afar Yaakov Al tira avdi Yaakov Nishba Hashem le Yaakov Al tira avdi Yaakov. Who has another Al tira avdi?
I have the it's not this version to what you said got from Rabbi Koenig, which is very similar but not the same.
Go ahead.
And this is what we were doing in Bnei Akiva. We go to Slach, נכון?
Yeah.
סלח נא ליבון יעקב, כן אבא כן, אל תירא עבדי יעקב, לא אבא לא, לא נראה ולא נפרד, לא נראה ולא נפרד, לא נראה ולא נפרד, רק ממך בלבד, לא נראה ולא נפרד, לא נראה ולא נפרד, לא נראה ולא נפרד, רק ממך לבד. אתה השב שבות יעקב, כן, אבא כן, אל תירא עבדי יעקב, לא, אבא לא, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד. Of the same one?
Yeah, so we can remember it better.
עדה אדוני את יעקב, כן אבא כן, אל תירא עבדי יעקב, לא אבא לא, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד. צווי ישועות יעקב, כן אבא כן, אל תירא עבדי יעקב, לא אבא לא, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, רק ממך בלבד.
Almost taste the herring and the potatoes of Melava Malka when you sing. This is wonderful. Let me see if I can remember one more melody. Let's go. Yankel, Yankel, hop kein Meure, hoff und hoff zum Beure. Was du darfst, wird dir geben, gesunde Jahre und ein lang Leben. Ja da da, da di 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 dam, ja da 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 dam. Kol Yankel, Valtiro, Avdi Yankel, 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 hop kein Meure, hoff und hoff zum Beure. Was du darfst, wird dir geben, gesunde Jahre und ein lang Leben. Ja, da, di, dam, ja, da, dam. Ranu Simchale, Yankel, Valtiro, Avdi Yankel, Yankel, hop kein Meure, hopp zum Beure. Was du darfst, wird dir geben, gesunde Jahre und ein lang Leben. Was du darfst, wird dir geben, gesunde Jahre und ein lang Leben. Ja, da, dam, ja, da, dam. We got two more Altir of the Youngers to any other melody that you know.
Another one, it is not coming.
No, okay. So I tell you what I would like to do today. If you look at these two sheets, you have first of all, from Vayechi, Yaakov Avinu blessing his children. And on the other side, you have Moshe Rabbeinu. And there have been some people, not just a few people, there have been some people who have spoken about the fact that the 12 signs of the Zodiac, the 12 months, and the 12 tribes have a yachas together. And one time I had the opportunity to do a retreat with a large group of people, so I did a big circle with them, lining them up according to their birthdays. So that all the Pisces guys were in one place and the Aquarians were in one place, so according to their birthday. And then I assigned, according to the signs of the Zodiac, whichever tribe they are. And then I gave them this text and said, each one take your tribe. If you're going to be Reuven, see what Moshe says to Reuven, see what Yaakov says to Reuven, and you, Reuvenites, go into this corner and talk about what are your personality traits and what do you find about and so on and so forth on that basis, okay? So I figured first I want to learn with you through the pshat because some of these are not easy, the words are not easy. And then once we are clear with that, you need to read this with Rashi, but when you also read with, in Mikros Gedolos, you read with Targum Yonasan and Targum Yerushalmi, you see how that's not anymore a Targum, it's a Midrash already by the time they expand it. So let's take a look and read, okay? Vayikra Yaakov el banav, vayomer ha'asfu v'agid lachem, et asher yikra etchem v'achrit hayamim. Hikabtzu v'shimu b'nei Yaakov v'shimu el Yisrael avichem. So you have, first of all, like the kefel halashon that you usually find in poetry, you know, that you have the same thing said again. Now, on one hand, you can say this is a device, a poetic device that the Bible uses over and over again, and don't give it, they take synonyms and they're happy with the synonyms. But then you read somebody like the Malbim, and he says, wait a minute, this, don't take this as being just incidental. There is thought behind it, and each one represents a different thing. So if you look at Heyasfu, and Aseifa comes together because, you know, any bunch of people can be an Aseifa. But Reb Nachman points out that a kibbutz is a different story. That means that people have gathered, there's a yachad, v'kapseinu yachad, there's an intention of that. So he's saying, when you come merely at Asfu, what I have to say is going to be a Haggadah to you. Im Tirzu Ezo Haggadah, you know? But it's going to be an Haggadah, that's number one. The other meaning of Haggadah, of Agid Lachem, Vagid Lachem, is Neged. You know, when you have Ezer Kenegdo, standing. What I have to say to you who are casual gatherers is going to be like, what you're doing isn't right. Okay, Vagida, so I will oppose you. And the other way you can say, Hikabtsu, if you come and do this together, Vishimu, then I know that you'll be able to hear it. Then I don't have to put it to you. So if I know what your motivation is, I know how to talk to you. That's basically what this comes up. So now, Reuven bechori atakochi vereshit oni has to do with power, with strength, right? Yeter se'eit ve'yeter az. Now, what do you see in this pasuk that you want to take apart? What is he getting in se'eit and what is he getting in az? And I'm purposely not looking for the meforshim for this, okay? I want us to be the meforshim.
Se'et connects me to Bereshit and to Cain and Hevel. There was Lafetach Se'et. There's something with a chet here. Takes
Very
you
good.
into a chet.
Se'et reminds me of also carrying the bed into the wrong
Right,
place.
that's what he was.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's an excess. It's an
Excess, yes.
Too much.
Very good. Okay, anybody else wants to say what's the difference between Se'et and Az?
Az is more of a holy word, isn't it? It's Aziva Zimatya. It's Az.
It talks
It's
about
not
a
going down. It's
strength.
going up.
I see in Se'et someone who's blowing himself up. You know, he's bearing higher, but he doesn't have the strength. You can topple him over. But he says you got both. You got Se'et and you got Az.
That's true strength.
Yeah. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
However, Pachas kamayim al totar ki alita mishkevei avich az chilalta yitzui Allah. Anything. Pachas kamayim. Well, there's all kinds of mayim. Go.
Instability.
Yeah, but what's the word pochazim? Pochiz.
פוחזים הולך יחד עם ריקים, ריקים ופוחזים. There is the one, the empty ones, the Istra Belagina Kishkishkaria guys. So there's
Kishkishkaria.
Oh, Istra Belagina Kishkishkaria means a coin in an empty vessel is
makes a lot of noise.
Makes a lot of noise.
Like the pushtakim.
So that's the rekim and a pochazim. It's empty. There's only one thing. It was like, what's the water about that? I mean, we like the water to be pochazim because they go from here, they go from there, and they always get away. If there's a crack, they'll go through the crack. But with his behavior, it wasn't right because there was a crack there. And then he got in, and it wasn't right.
I see him not so much between the Euphrates and the Tigris. You know, when you are between the two rivers, there's the Nahar Kevar, and there are all those big canals that were going on between the two rivers, and the water was going very slow. But in a wadi, it's pachas kamayim. Yeah, it goes down, it goes stormy, and so on and so forth. But then al totar, you know.
Nothing remains from it. It's like
right.
afikim benegev. They just
that's right.
Like it leaves the land dry.
So for all your se'et and for all your az, it turns out that you're not reliable.
You know, we have a bitui in Hebrew, I'm saying Hebrew in quotation, that says that. We say, full gas be neutral. Full gas be neutral.
Spinning your wheels.
Full gas. That's good. That's good Israeli.
Like how do you say the front back axle or the seal beam? You know, I got one of my seal beam. My seal beam has to be changed. Sealed beam.
Sealed beam.
Puncher, seal beam. I mean, there's a whole bunch of these words.
Like in Hebrew, okay.
Yeah. All right. So he says, Al totar, why is it? Ki alita mishkevei avicha az chilalta yesui Allah. And that whole story with Reuven and Bilhah is such a, you know, the same haftorah that we're having, V'amelech David Zaken, Baba Yamim, has in the continuity after he has told him who he should kill off and who he should let live, comes the story of Adoniah, comes to Bathsheba, and says, I would like to have the Shunamit as my wife. And Shlomo says, give him the throne already. So you see that he doesn't come, the mother sees it, so he's in love with this gal, you know, she wasn't really with Papa, it's not an incest. Let him have a consolation prize, as it were. And Shlomo Melech says, you don't realize what this is symbolic of. So in case here we have a situation of this sort. What do you think did it represent when he took Bilhah?
It's so interesting what you said now. It's like, why would Reuven bother do that? If we don't go into a mashal of full real love and you know, all that. No. If we move away from that, we move away from that. So he had the Bechorah. He was the first one. We see that all over, you know, we see that he fails all the time in making the right decisions. You know, he's trying to save Yosef, but he goes away. They do it behind his back. Where then he's trying to take Binyamin down, and he said, "It's Shnei Banai Tamid." And my husband says, "Oh, everybody goes, oh, Reuven," you know.
No win.
Yeah.
And so it's like he has the Bechorah. He didn't have to do anything much except for rise up into what he gets, and then he goes and sleep with you know, with his father's wife. You didn't need it.
It wasn't a political statement about Leah, about sort of making her.
The Zohar suggests that he didn't really sleep with her, and that's really about where the Shekhinah is going to rest and who Yaakov is going to be with, and that it's about Reuven's, again, assertion of his mother's right, and that it's much more complex, and that we've seen it at that level of the sexual interaction, but it's about Reuven's desire to really have the proximity with the Shekhinah. that where the bed is where the Shekhinah is with Yaakov.
Well, if you want to go Freudian some more, you can say that he has an Oedipal Geschäft to work out with Papa for having not been so nice to Mama.
Right.
So all these are the possibilities here. Okay.
I mean, he didn't mess up when he went and got the Dudaim. I mean, he really is going out of his way to help his mother. And that probably can fall under the same category.
So there is something goodwill. There's a lot of goodwill and ineptness in him, right? When he says, "Kill my 2 children," there's goodwill, but he's inept with the goodwill.
I think to take it back for a moment, we don't say that Yosef and Binyamin are Mama's boys if they're trying to bring the image of Rachel back. But in his case, when he is in fact strengthening his mother's role, we don't see it as positively because he tends to trip on his own feet. So he gets the mandrakes, whether that's the right thing or not, etc. He has a tendency to sabotage himself.
Yeah, so there's something about that, the way. And nevertheless, at the end, you see that they stay in Jordan. On the other side,
yeah, so it's the same thing. It's like we're getting to the land, and Reuven is the one that said, well, actually rather have this side. It's another Oy Reuven moment.
Okay, very good. So, Shimon v'Levi Achim.
Excuse me, Rabbi Zalman, are we starting with Aries here, with Reuven?
I don't know yet. I first want to learn through the thing, and then we're gonna.
A real name. Look, it's a son,
and then we're gonna ask Michael Esformes to tell us where they fit in the Zodiac. Okay, let's go on. Shimon v'Levi Achim klei Hamas mecherotehem. Mecherotehem gives a lot of trouble to all the Meforshim. It's one of those things that they can't make up their mind about. So, any word?
Their commerce. They
right.
traffic in this kind of stuff.
That's where they come from, Mechira. And then there is also...
So in a karet, in a karet way.
It's a play on words.
Do it, yeah.
What?
Karet.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Very good. Yes.
Right. And what do you do with the Klei Hamas?
Yeah. Klei Hamas... you don't need any better. I mean, Hamas is very clear.
No, I said, you correct with the Klei Hamas.
Yeah.
But there is also...
You create korate.
That's right.
With your Klei Hamas.
But some of them also read it as kind of Mechorati, like from their homeland.
Mechora.
Yeah. Their homeland is
turned into Hamas.
I kind of thought that that's what it was, and this is the first time I kind of noticed that it's a tzere there. I would always read it Mechorotehem in my memory.
But if we go back to the commerce part, it's like they like sold out. They are going after their emotions. They are like they have knee-jerk response. They are not, they're not holding their center. You can sell them.
Well, all these. This is wonderful. We are doing some characteristics of them on that basis. Besodam al tavo nafshi, b'kahalam al techad kevodi.
Techad is to be happy.
Chedva.
Chedva. Okay. Be happy. Joyful.
Well, and you can do much more because you can go to the place of focusing.
Echad. Of Echad?
Yeah, from Echad. And sharp chidudin, also an issue of focus. And why is that? And besodam, what's the difference? What's sod and kahal?
Yeah.
So sod doesn't necessarily mean a secret. It means a counsel. Eil narot besod kedoshim rabba. That there is, that sod, besod yesharim means the counsel in that way. So then you see that there is an equivalence between kahal and sod in this thing. And nafshi and kavodi is interesting here too. What would you say is the difference between which is more concrete, nafshi or kavodi?
Yeah, nafshi. No, I don't know. Kavodi. Kaved. It's both malchut, isn't it? It's both at the...
Yeah. Nefesh is the lowest level, and kavod, but I want to go into another place with this. I want to say nafshi like ritzoni, and kavodi like my aura.
And my reputation.
My reputation, right.
Because after Shechem, when he doesn't say what a terrible thing they've done, but look what you've done to my reputation.
Ikartem oti, right?
Yeah.
Lahavisheni, right?
You've embarrassed me.
Yeah. All right.
And you're saying nafshi in that case is what?
I think that much more the pnimi and the kvodi is more the makiv. That's how I see it, you know? Yeah. And when you say nafshi like ritzoni, it's like shelati, nafshi b'shelati, you know, v'ami b'vakashati, like that. Ki be'apam hargu ish u'v'ritzonam ikru shor. Ikru.
What, you mean like le'akev oto, like to
right.
Uproot? No, not to
uproot.
To
castrate.
Castrate.
Okay. And arur apam ki az, vevratam ki kashata.
Another az, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why it deserves to be arur is because of the strength that they put into their anger. And the evra, because it is so hard. I had this wonderful Rosh Yeshiva. His name was Mordechai Mentlik, and he was a redhead. And he was one of the mildest people ever. But from time to time, he had to make an angry face. So he would turn around and make this face and says, "The Shiur will continue and you will not go away to the Verbringen." And we all were ready to sneak out anyway, regardless what he said. He had to say his thing, that he had to deal with Jacobson, the Mashpia, that he shouldn't let, and the Mashpia said that they should come, you know? So he had this whole geschäft. So after he made this Brügges upon him, he would say, "Did you get scared?" You know, so you could see that this was put on, right? But this is very strong.
It's heavy.
Yeah? And he says, "Halkeim beYaakov afitzem beYisrael," and again, you can make a whole geschäft. Why should it be a halkeim here, which still is in blocks, you know? And afitzem is just dispersed, right?
So why are you saying that? Oh, sorry.
What?
No, I'm just saying that Ruthie was saying that it's on. Okay, that's different. Okay, sorry. Continue.
So, Yehuda ata yoducha achecha yadcha be'oref oivecha yishtachvu lecha b'nei avicha, and that is finally Yehuda gets raised up again. Vayet me'et echav before vayet ad ish adulami, but here his Papa says they all are going to say that yoducha doesn't necessarily mean only to thank, but it also means that they will confess, affirm what you have said, right?
Supremacy.
How you went about doing things. Gur Aryeh Yehuda miterev bani alita. I don't understand that connection. Kara rabatzke Aryeh uchalavi mi yekemenos. What does this refer to? Okay, unless you would say it refers to his attitude at Vayigash.
Well, he also says it's like he looks into the future. Not everything has to be Yehuda.
Because he said Achrit Hayamim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In which way would you see it then?
Well, Yehuda,
he carries Malchut.
History proves that this is Yehuda who, until today, Kelavim Yekimenu, I mean, he's still there. Nobody managed to push him and annihilate him.
So you're saying that this is of David HaMelech and later on Malchut Beit David. Okay, it could be.
That's what Levi Yitzchak says.
Lo Yasur, because you see later on it comes, Lo Yasur Shevet mi Yehuda Mechokek mi Ben Raglav Ad Ki Yavo Shilo Velo Yikhat Amim. And you know how the missionaries translated that?
No.
Who Shiloh is, you know? Right?
Shiloh is
Yoshke.
Jesus.
That's
Shiloh
right.
is Ephraim. It's Israel, Ephraim.
Well, I never understood that. How does Shiloh become Jesus? How did that happen?
It turns out, so here's where you can't find agreement. The Chachamim are coming in, Shehashai Shelo, Shehamelucha Shelo, that deals with Mashiach and with this and with that. But in the Pshat is much harder to know. But on the other hand, you see, Yikhat Amim is different than a kibbutz and then a kahal, you know.
ייקחת, יכול להיות ייקחל עמים? מה זה ייקחת? אני בכלל לא מבינה.
Well, there's a dagation.
It's a power.
There's a dagation there. So often the dagesh represents, unless you're going to say the dagesh comes from a piel, you might say that there's a nun that was swallowed there. Huh?
It's a nifal.
בוא תנסי לי לחשוב על עוד מילה אחת דומה כזאת בעתיד, באותו זה, ונראה אם יש שם דגש, משהו עם בית או כיף, עם כף.
Yes, so that's...
ויכול להיות שהיה נון שם.
לא, אבל טוב.
נקה. אני יצרי לי נקה.
And then you might get to the place where you would say, he will come and he will purify the nations. And his will be...
That's Yoshke.
Well, I don't know. Mashiach,
That's how they read it, I'm sure.
Mashiach is a zelbe maise, you know. If I want to take, say, he didn't come yet, but Yavo Shiloh will come, right?
That's more the Christian poetic, that it's coming from Shiloh.
Right.
Who's that? Yeah.
Well, דווקא the fact that it is Ephraim is good. כי יבואו נוצרים בהר אפרים, so...
Well, but then that Mashiach ben Yosef is a whole other maise. We're going to get to that. So he has said that, Osri lagefen iro v'lasoreka b'niyatono. Kibeis b'yayin levusho v'dam anavim suto. And this one, and Chachlili anayim miyayin uleven shinayim mechalav.
It's gorgeous.
And the language is beautiful, right?
Oh.
But what does it mean? What's this donkey got to do with the Geffen, you know? So I don't know, you know, I could bring them because listen, we could have fun with that. But I'd much rather we try and do it ourselves.
To me, it's the... Hi! It sounds like Greek classics to me. It sounds like Homer, or, you know, the washing your, you know, your royal garments washed in wine, and the contrast between that and the white teeth and the milk and the, it's just the...
Very sensual here, right?
Sensual, royal.
Yeah.
It's also like, kind of like health, like kind of a health. Very healthy.
Yes, yes.
Very healthy, very rich.
But the donkey we haven't gotten straight yet.
That's on.
Okay, we'll leave it for the time being. Zevulun. Lechof yamim yishkon v'hu lechof aniyot v'yarkato al tzidon. Zevulun.
Excuse me, did you say anything about the atone? Did we?
No, I don't know.
Can't figure it out.
There's nothing, I mean... Yeah.
What's the Iro? Iro is also, it's like Ayir.
Yes,
no?
Ayir Pere, Adam Yivale. That means, again, a donkey, you know? And that, from this, of course, you get the geschäft that he will come riding on a donkey, right? Yeah. Ani rochev al chamor, that he will be like that. Yeah. So, Zevulun lechov yamim yishkon v'ru yelechov aniyot v'yarkato al tzidon.
Very straightforward.
Huh?
This seems very straightforward.
Yeah, but what's Sidon got to do here?
Well, Sidon was the great city, and it's also the great
On the
city of
sea.
goddess worship.
Right?
Place of commerce.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you have
The Lebanon, where all the richness comes that we use for embellishing the temple also.
right, so the Phoenicians, you have the Phoenicians, Punic Phoenicians. So it turns out that when you ask who was fighting the Romans earlier, it was those Phoenicians. And what was the name of their king? Hannibal. Okay, and what is the name of their city? Karta Hadasha. Right? And so you have, and you read their inscriptions, you could see how close that language is to Hebrew. So apparently Zebulun has something with those folks in Sidon to be the seafarers. Yisachar Chamor Garem Rovetz Beina Mishpatayim. Well, Chamor I get. Garem means meaning bones, you know, a broad-boned donkey. But you have Eeyore hanging out, you know, between the thistles, if you will. You know, he doesn't want to get up and do any work or something.
Mishpatayim is...
Well, there's a lot, you go and figure it out.
לא, זה יש לנו גם בשירת דבורה, למה רבצת בין המשפטיים לשמוע שריקות עדרים. So the משפטיים is something they have to do with the cattle and it's...
Thistles?
No, I don't know if it's the thistles, but it's I don't know exactly what it is, but I said it has to do with where you keep your animals.
The cattle pens?
Aha, so the corral, you would say.
Also, Chamor Garem in Hebrew slang, it's not really slang, colloquially, it's an idiot.
Yeah,
Chamor Garem is an idiot.
but that's something that was taken from here. We can't take it back, you know.
But who knows?
Well,
Chamor Garem is not an idiot. Chamor Garem is exactly what it is. Chamor Garem is somebody that is working hard, is a hard-working person.
Yeah, but it's simpleton, like, you know.
Yeah, he's not, but it
well,
is a
listen, when you're
hard-working
talking about reading back in Eretz HaShalom v'miskenut tochal bo lechem, in Eretz Yisrael you can't make a living if you're a misken. So which is reading back from the colloquial into the Chumash. It's okay.
It's the one who's going to carry the heavy baggage.
Well, as you will see, Vayar menucha kitov et ha'aretz ki na'ema, vayet shichmo lisbol v'hine masovei. And he sees him as the one who takes on all the Joe jobs among the tribes.
Never mind. So can you speak?
He's everybody's friar almost. Do you want to say it this way? Yes. What do you want to say?
But there is something about the simpleton that Dorit says. Vayar menucha kitov et ha'aretz ki na'ema. So he's not like the friar, but doesn't enjoy. I mean, he takes a harder work and then he's enjoying. He's enjoying himself. He's loves to help.
Yeah.
I mean, he rests by the end of the day. He doesn't have this kind of gathering discussing the meaning of things.
And you work hard and then you go out for a beer.
He's not a workaholic. Okay.
Well, so you deserve to go out for the beer at the end of the day.
That's right.
Yes, exactly.
Can you speak to the Yisachar and Yisachar, please?
No, I can't.
Oh no!
Because you know, when you go to where they finally go, they go Yesh Schar, and they say that Yisachar is the Lamden and Zevulun is a balabos in business. And I saw an ad once in the Morgen Journal, not Morgen Journal, it was in the Jewish press, in English Jewish press from Brooklyn, the Frum paper from Brooklyn, where a guy advertised and said that he is a Yisachar who's looking for Zevulun, who would share with him, he would share his Olam Haba and his learning with the other guy, and he's looking for someone who will support him.
That's beautiful. Wow. So
and by the way, that was that you know, if you talk from a traditional point of view, that wasn't the only occurrence, but it was so nice to see this already in an advertisement.
So how did the rabbis get that from the Chamor Garem?
The one who is the learned one. It doesn't. It's not here.
It's not here. I know.
From Yesh Schar, you know, that there is a schar that he will have from learning Torah.
Why
So maybe it's from Vezot HaBracha, because in Vezot HaBracha, Issachar is be'ohalecha, like Yaakov, yes,
Right.
studying in Be'ohel, you know, maybe from there.
And why do we not pronounce it Yisachar?
Yisachar.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Well,
right.
because you will see that the Chassidim will always call him the Bnei Yisachar.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the only place that Yisachar is
Pronounced.
Yisachar. Why? I don't know.
Look, there is mitzvotecha and eidvotecha. Have you seen that in Tehillim? Eidvotecha. So usually you'd say eidotecha. What's the?
Right.
So you'll find the shva under the dalit. So you have to pronounce it eidvotecha.
Okay.
And I think that's the same situation that here in the Yisachar, you don't have any nikudot.
Well, you see, there's no shva under the second sin.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Should have been.
But there you have a dagesh already in the first sin. So sins are very difficult letters. There's a possibility even that originally the sin was written with 4 heads.
Like
It looks like the tefillin.
A shin smali, you know.
Yeah.
So on the tefillin you have the 4-pronged shin on the left and the right-pronged shin on the right. That's why I have it on my car in the same
Yeah.
positions, you know, as if to say Chochmah and Bina, you know, you want to have that awareness. I don't know, you know, my sense is that most of the time when people are trying to say something so much la'achara ma'aseh, that they come up with things that they don't know where it began from, you know. You take a look when you have, you want to say something about the things have to do with the anthropology of things. So the Egyptians circumcised beforehand. Yeah, Avram Avinu got in touch with Memra, and they say Natan lo Eitza al Hamila, and that's why he was doing the Mila in the Ohel Mamre. Okay, yeah, we don't know a lot of things. It was so clear from the Ugaritic stuff that they had forgotten where the Lote Bashel Gedi B'Chalevi Mo came from, and there are other things that are. Most of the time we say Mechir Kelev represents you sell a dog and you buy a sheep and you mustn't offer that sheep that comes from. Some other people have come up and said that just like Etnan Zona was the gift that you pay to the sacred prostitute female, and when you get the word celibate,
That was supposed to refer to male prostitutes.
that this was the male
the term they use for them.
right. So
Or to graves and a few other.
yeah, so they say that. So we don't, you know, Chazal don't always come through with a pshat that isn't a pshat that they read in their day into the thing. So we don't know. Dan yadin amo ke'achat shifte Yisrael yehi dan nachash al derech shefifon ale orach hanosher ikvei sus v'yipol roch v'achor. And then lishuat hakevit Hashem. What this thing is about is so hard to tell.
I have a problem with that.
Go ahead.
I have a problem with Dan. I don't like snakes.
Shimshon HaGibor, first of all, comes from Dan. Dan has, first of all, Dan is near the Philistine country, but then the Danite Shevet moves north, and they're no longer in the same. So you may be Dan ad Bad
They're
Beersheba.
always at the border.
Huh?
They're responsible in some way for the border
Yeah.
to guard it.
Okay, that's good.
But what's the snake?
The snake.
I think it could also be lenachesh. It's to divine. There's something in this.
Yeah, it's harder because you have a shififon
Then
coming right afterwards.
It's very physical.
It's snaky.
Yeah, that's snaky.
Yeah.
They thought it was a rabbit.
No, it's
Also
It's also okay.
yeah, it's an onomatopoeia for almost like a rattlesnake.
Yeah.
But he's also shafuf. He's like low on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
משתופף.
And Alei Aref,
Al gechon chatelech. You know, it's going on the belly. All right. Anything else that comes up for you here?
Well, why should there be Yesod Foundation Hashem at the end of this bracha?
Right.
Well, so there are a number of people who come and say that he had seen something in the future with the Shevet done, and
so he has to give that.
It was
That
like
wasn't
an
good.
Huh?
Because of the Plishtim, or?
Yeah, it doesn't. They don't.
No.
They say he saw something in the future. What have you got there? You're looking into Meforshim. It's okay.
Fluff it up.
If I find something good, I'll share it.
All right. Okay.
It's toward to
I do
Newman,
want to
so
say
it's-
that there's a little story about someone you helped with this, Lishuas Chakidis Hashem. Leah Tamar once called, there was once someone who had an anxiety attack on an airplane and called you and got you. And right as the plane was taking off, it was a really bad situation. And you had like literally 30 seconds to give her something that was going to get her through this long plane flight, and she was freaking out. And you gave her this mantra, you told her how to turn the letters, or turn it around, and it got her through the entire 4-hour flight. And it was like a healing balm. And she didn't have to take medication, or it was a little miracle. I just want to give you a little kavod with that.
Certainly I've forgotten about this a long time ago, but I used to love to be with Yotam, putting him to sleep at night, how he enjoyed to make sure that the permutations should be just, he wasn't happy with 3 like the Siddur has. He wanted to have 6 of them. Because Lishuatcha kiviti Hashem, Lishuatcha Hashem kiviti. Kiviti Hashem Lishuatcha, kiviti Lishuatcha Hashem. Hashem Lishuatcha, kiviti Hashem, kiviti Lishuatcha. That's 6 of them.
So even then he was brilliant.
So we need to turn the snake over. Because if we go to other traditions, like for the Huichol Indians, the snake is the intermediary between the worlds. And when my grandson was bitten by the poisonous snake and he was in ICU, all these different people were davening for him from different lineages, but they were also sending me different interpretations of the snake bite. Right? That this, instead of seeing this, and it was a horrible crisis and he almost died, but that somehow the snake bite was like initiation into a real deeper sense of the soul of knowing who you are and being the intermediary.
I was bitten by a poisonous snake too, and I was 18.
Yeah.
And I almost died too.
Right.
Same story, but nobody prayed for me. Just took antibiotics.
Must have been.
So
maybe you just don't know.
And again, if you think in terms of Crete and the goddesses allowing the snakes to bite them so they could go into trance, most cultures have had the fear of the snake. And usually we get blamed for it, it's in the Torah and so on. But it's like we have an ambivalent relationship to the snake.
The Nechasha Nechoshet is not a small thing.
Right. And we have lost Moshe's staff with the Nachash. So we're afraid of the snake. We revered it possibly, but we're also afraid of it and we put it down. So here I think there's something that others were implying. There's some quality of divining here.
This is the Gemara says, Nevuato shel Yaakov Avinu.
Yeah.
Dichtiv Yehi Dan Nachash Alei Derech. So that's in Sota.
So I think time is going to. I still want to do I want to get to the.
We stay with the pshat. We won't get to the astrology.
All right. So let's say we'll do it fast. Gad Gedud Yegodenavu Yagud Akev, and that's another one of those Kriyat Shema Shalamita Psukim. To repeat Gad Gedud Yegodenu. Yeah. He's the connector. He's the cook. Naftali Ayala Shalucha he's the post office. Hanotenim Rishafer. And then Ben Porach Yosef, and here we have a whole longer Maisa, just as we have with Yehuda. Right? Ben Porach Ale Ayin, Banot Tzad Ale Shur, to take a look at him. On that business of Banot Tzad Ale Shur, in the Quran, there's this wonderful story about Zuleika and her friends, how they stuck themselves with needles. They were sitting and sewing or something like this.
The story is like everybody made fun of Zuleika that she was tempted by Yosef, and she was the rumor of the town. So she said, I'm going to show them. They don't know what I had to contend with. I mean, this man is irresistible. She invited them all to eat breakfast, and she set them all at the table to cut vegetables. And then she said, Yosef, you come and just walk through, and everybody cut their fingers with a knife.
And this is someone in the courts, or who's Zuleika?
Zuleika is Eshet Potiphar.
Oh, okay.
Zuleika.
That's how they call it in the Quran.
Okay. Dear friend.
Vayemoruhu varobu vayestemuhu balei chitzim. They embittered him, they fought with him, they hated him, they shot arrows at him. Vatesha be'etan kashto, and he kept his own bow not active. Vayefozes roa yadav. What lefazez means to move fast, you know.
But he doesn't fazez. There's only one zayin.
Well, but there's a dagation there.
Ulam Rishon Paz.
Huh?
Ulam Rishon Paz.
Paz.
Not from Pizuz.
Gold.
No.
Golden.
Maybe there's too much movement here. Yeah, midei abir Yaakov misham roe even Yisrael. Me'el avicha v'yazreka ve'et Shaddai v'vorcheka birchot shamayim me'al birchotom brovetzet tachat. And that, of course, ki chol b'shamayim uva'aretz lecha Hashem ha'mamlachot. When they talk about Yesod and Tzaddik, they're talking about that connection, Shamayim and Aretz. And Birchot Shadayim Veracham. And so this is amazing how this comes to Yosef, yeah? Birkat Avicha Gavru al Birkot Horai Atavat Ta'avat Givot Olam, the longing of the eternal hills. Tiyena L'Rosh Yosef L'Kotkot Nezir Echav, and Nezir here meaning Nezer, crown. Okay? Binyamin Zev Yitrov, Babokir Yochal Ad Lerev Yechalek Shalal. That Binyamin should suddenly get that kind of fierce thing seems to be strange. Okay, let's go and ask now. Before we won't look at Moshe yet, so because there's about 25 minutes left.
Can I just ask one quick question?
Yeah.
And all the Sephardi amulets, why do they choose Yosef and the Ben Porat Yosef for their? You see that everywhere, and it's been hundreds and hundreds of years. Why that?
The Ayin Hara, because he was kept from the Ayin Hara.
Is that what it is?
He's always ספרדים שרוצים להגיד לך, בן פורת יוסף. כאילו, בלי עין הרע זה גם בן פורת יוסף.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Right.
I didn't ever know that.
Right, and the other thing that's always on the Kamayot also is the Anabakah, 42 large name, for the same reason, that it will guard you from the negativity.
Thank you.
Ah, wonderful. Okay, what are the tribes?
Well, I could give you my interpretation here.
Yeah.
Starting from the most obvious ones. So Shimon and Levi are always mentioned together.
Yeah.
So you have one of those has to be Gemini, obviously.
Yeah.
And since Levi is the nurturers of the people, they're clearly the Cancer. So you have Shimon Gemini, Levi Cancer.
Just wait a second. I want to mark.
I think that's, and that I think is also, that's on this list that you gave me also.
Yeah.
What did you say Levi was?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah. So that would be, I think that's the easiest. And then Yehuda also very easy because he's the Aryeh. So he's Leo. Yeah. Now Dan, because he's the judge, he would have to be Libra. Maznaim.
That's the one I have problem with, and I'm Libra.
No.
You're always going to get your problem.
And then
Your fish.
Reuven, unstable as water, and all his subterranean machinations with clearly Scorpio, water sign.
You have him in what?
Scorpio.
My Bechor is Scorpio.
Yeah.
Ori.
Mine too. Bechora.
And then you called Naphtali the post office, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think we put him in Sagittarius.
Okay.
And Asher, who is the lover of fine things and luxury pleasure,
Yeah.
that's Taurus.
I thought it would be Issachar.
And Zevulun, of the sea, we have to give him Pisces. I don't think we give Yosef Pisces, although there's much that's Piscean in Yosef, his imprisonments and his good fortune and such. So I'm not quite entirely decided. But
Joseph has to take Adar.
Now Yosef, I think, is Aquarius, which is Adar, yeah. Which no,
Adar
Pisces is Adar.
Pisces. The reason why I'm saying that is because in a leap year you have Yosef divided into
That's why it's flying.
So I was divided between Zevulun first. So let's switch those then. So put Yosef back in Pisces.
To Yosef.
Yosef Pisces, and then Zvulun, I think we need to give Aquarius, because the water element has to be present.
Yeah, this makes sense.
Zvulun. So now that leaves Zvulun in Aquarius and Yosef in Pisces. So that leaves Binyamin, who I think clearly he has to be, okay, so now maybe when we said before that Yisachar is the hard worker, he needs obviously to be either Virgo or Capricorn. Now, but I'm thinking because Binyamin has to have some relationship with Yosef and the Zodiac. So if we give Binyamin Virgo, then Yosef and Binyamin are opposite signs together. And you could make a case for Yisachar as Virgo or Binyamin as Virgo, but because Binyamin caused the death of Rachel, then I think we need to give him some Saturnian influence, which is Capricorn. So maybe we leave Binyamin in Capricorn, and we give Yisachar a Virgo, and that of course leaves Gad, as in Chad Gadya, as the ram of Aries.
Well, yeah, in Brera.
Yeah. Yisachar fits better in Capricorn in terms of the focus on the work and the details.
I think if we do it that way, then Binyamin and Yosef are opposite in the Zodiac, which makes good sense too. So
and Yisachar is at this final understanding?
Capricorn.
So which one is Virgo?
Binyamin.
What about Asher?
Binyamin is Virgo?
Asher, Taurus.
And God, what is God?
Aries.
12. Two sides of the other.
So I'm focusing mostly on, directly the meanings of the zodiac signs and how they relate to the qualities.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That guy was that South African film guy that writes Glazerson.
Yeah.
Where does he put them? Do you remember?
Not like that, because I just remember my own. He definitely has Asher in Aquarius. I remember because I'm Aquarius, and he definitely Yehuda is Leo. Those are the only ones I remember from Glazerson. But he has a whole chart in the back of that book, the Jewish Zodiac. He has that whole beautiful chart where he places them all in the houses and different. Have you seen that book?
And I think Gershon may have something in his book also.
What turns out is that about so many things there's agreement, but there's so little agreement about which
There's so many
tribe.
people who put all these charts, the qualities, the colors, the notes of the scale, and everybody seems to...
It's always different.
I saw a book yesterday of a Native American astrologer who did the birth map of King David. And he has a date, birth date and everything. And what's happening is like there's a Star of David as part of the chart. It comes up as a Star of David. So it's but there's the birth.
Do you have both in your chart? I have part
Scorpio.
Not a complete
certain years the Magen David was more obvious in my chart according to
Double trines, huh?
It's double, it's special.
Yeah.
I have 1.5 triangles.
But isn't, in places like Karnachum and Beit Shan, and these things are already in the mosaics.
But not the tribes.
The tribes aren't on there?
No.
The months.
Just
the months are there. The sign and the month will be there, but not the tribe. That's so wonderful. By the way, Rabbi Lazar Kalir in Geshem and in Tal, he has the signs of the zodiac, and one of the kinot has the signs of the zodiac. Remember, it says there that that Aris is crying for the Churban and so on and so forth. So you do see that. We don't have a problem with that, but when it comes to assigning the Shvatim, that's different. Well, let's take a look according to this cheshbon, okay?
Is there an extra handout for Zot HaFachada?
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
So, if we give Reuven, what have we said Reuven is here? Scorpio. Yechi Reuven val yemot yemetav mispar, and Pachas Kamayim. Okay, I don't see much connection. Do you see any connection of what we have said right now about...
I'm sorry, would you run that by me again? I didn't hear.
You have in Moshe Rabbeinu says, let Reuven live and not die, and his people shall be counted.
I think it's saying that the strength will come through. That the...
In Reuven, okay.
It's a tikkun.
It's the other side.
It's a tikkun of it, yeah.
The she'et and the az are now going to come through in the longevity of the tribe.
The Scorpio quality is all about that deep wrestling with the dark force.
And killing itself.
Death,
yeah. Stinging itself to death.
Yeah. So when he offers up his sons, it's a very Scorpio passionate moment. But
when you say Scorpio, it reminds me of the Maisa about all the the times he tried to make peace. And the story goes that someone was saying, "You want to know about the Middle East?" So he says there's a frog, and the scorpion said, "Would you take me across?" Right?
Yeah.
And he says he promises, and finally, he in the middle of it, he
can't help himself.
Right? He says, "What can I do? I'm a scorpion." Right? Okay, Shimon and Levi.
And he says, "And this is the Middle East."
Yeah, that's right. That's the Nimshal here. So Shimon and Levi. We'll leave Yehuda a little bit later. Let's go with Yaakov's Cheshbon first. So we see that there is no Shimon in Zot HaBracha. So what they're saying is that Shimon gets a Shema from
Levi.
Huh?
From Levi.
From Levi, right?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Well, if he talks about Achalkem beYaakov v'Afitzem b'Yisrael, Levi got his own chiluk because he never gets an achala, and Shimon doesn't. It's like a fulfillment of the prophecy of Yaakov because he's not mentioned here.
Yeah.
He dissolves. That must have been terrible.
Well, it's interesting too because that twin quality, if that's removed from the Zot HaBracha, then you find Ephraim and Menashe appear in this version here as the brothers.
So you have to drop somebody, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's going to be 13.
So you drop the twin. So now you can twin elsewhere.
So Levi's, usually we drop Levi, but this one it drops Shimon. Yeah.
Well, he mentions Alfei Menashe, Rivot Ephraim and Alfei Menashe in Zot HaBracha. Say a little bit more about Levi. Yeah, you had said that Levi is Cancer.
That actually, I think it's pretty straightforward because if the Levites are the nurturers of the tribe, that's the direct correlation of the meaning of Cancer.
That makes a lot of sense, And then I would have wanted to say like an usher, b'shemeno lachmo, if the nurturing is there. When you look at Tumecha ve'urecha, that you hear clearly that they have that task, right? And also Teriveu Almei Meriva when they were standing up at this point. And when it came to the Egel, they said, La'avi ve'libo lo riti ve'lechav lo yikir ve'banav lo yada. Why was that? Ki shabru imrotecha v'ritcho yinsor. For this reason, I empower you, he says, Yoru mishpatecha leYaakov v'torotcha leYisrael, yasimu ketorah be'apecha v'chalal al mizbechecha. For the priestly function and the teaching functions I entrust to you. Berach Hashem chelo pol yom Tirzah mechatz masnaim kama. Well, here he puts him already again into a more martial place. U'misanav min yekumun. When I think of the priestly function, as being in Cancer, that makes for a nice sense, because when I was talking about the difference between teaching Musar Avicha and Torah Timecha, Ki Siftei Kohen, the Kohen comes from the tribe of Levi. Siftei Kohen Yishmaru Dat v'Torah Yivakshu Mefihu. And what kind of Torah? More the feminine, more the caring Torah. And if you look at Aaron HaKohen and the Big Kehuna, you have sort of a Bobby cooking.
And even at the level of the carrying all the utensils of the home, the traveling home.
Sure.
Bisexual high priest.
Yeah.
At least his clothes, cross-dressing.
All right. So next, now we have to deal with Yehuda at this point. He comes second, and Moshe is the third, and Yaakov. And with Yehuda we have said Leo. So on the one hand it's a slam dunk, because he has him here by that name, Gur Aryeh, Yehuda Mitera B'ni Alita, etc., etc. On Moshe Rabbeinu's thing we don't see that much of his strength being put, except that there is something very solid about him,
But who?
About Yehuda. And that Yehuda has, all the Hasidic rabbis go about the thing of saying Shema Hashem Kol Yehuda. Yeah. Meaning that since Yehuda is a Baal Tshuva, Yosef is a tzaddik, Yehuda is a Baal Tshuva. So since Yehuda is a Baal Tshuva, he's saying, Rabbeinu Shalom, you got to listen to the Baal Tshuva,
Yeah, we're not tzaddikim, but we can be Baal Tshuva.
Yeah. All right, so we leave them.
But what's so important is that we have the Gur Aryeh metaphor given to somebody else. And that is interesting. Like Dan gets the Gur Aryeh here instead of Yehuda. That's interesting.
How about Ma'abashan? It's very interesting. Why Ma'abashan?
The Parot Bashan, he always has it's all the cattle is in Bashan.
But Bashan is in the north. It's like Leah Golan.
Yeah.
It's a place.
So, but Gur, Yehuda, you think of Hare Yehuda, the Hare Yerushalayim.
Now it's done. That's what's. I'm leaving the Bashan out of it for a moment, but so why this metaphor went to somebody else?
All right.
Well, that could be looking ahead to the times of the judges.
We're dealing with who now? With Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, we got to Dan because of the issue that in Zota Bracha he's got the Gur Aryeh, but we were still back at Yehuda. Are we finished with Yehuda? We still are back to this issue about the Geffen Iro and the Atono. That hasn't been satisfied yet. And what would that have to do with Leo? Any connection?
What is what?
Osri la Geffen Iro, Atono,
Yeah. But it's a very kingly place in general. There's that sense of lavishness and grandness.
Okay. It's almost like if he has to tie up his horse, he doesn't have a plain place. He's got a golden hydrant for that. Osri la Geffen Iro. It's like he can do that in the. Also, it may mean that the Ayar is eating some of the leaves and some of the grapes there, and he can afford to do that because he's Yehuda. I don't know. All right. With whom are we left? We haven't done Zevulun on both sides. He has the two of them together.
In Meta Parshiyot, David Blank, Wolf Blank, he has a lot about them. I just don't remember what he says, but I remember that he has beautiful teaching for each one of them. Actually, almost a whole page for each one of them.
Yes.
So now it will be nice to go back and see what he has to say there.
In the Meta Parshiyot?
Yeah.
I think it's about the balancing, that one of them is off traveling, and the other one is anchoring the energy by staying home in the tent, so to speak.
Who are you thinking of?
Yehuda.
Yisachar and Zvulun. That they offer a balance to each other.
It's interesting because if the Zodiac, they're both Capricorn and Aquarius, those are both the Saturnian rulerships.
What more does it mean? He eats up his children, Saturn. What's?
It's the giver of form. It's the structuralizing element. So, if the pairing of Yisachar and Zvulun under the same rulerships, one stays home, one goes forth. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's not striking, but
astrologically, it will also be the balance between vision and practicality.
Aquarius and Capricorn. Yeah.
I see that we're barely touching the surface of this. What's coming for you?
Well, that isn't Aquarius is the 11th house, which is all about the community, so it's going forth. And then the 10th house is more about the individual. Oh, what's the other one? What house is Capricorn?
10th house, Capricorn 10th house.
10th house is about the person's profession, so that might be more about their own home or their own development.
It'd be interesting to work with a group to ask us which of these brachot do we identify with.
Yeah.
Do we get a hit on where we belong, so to speak, which is what you did in that exercise you described.
So would you then take these with you? I think we're done for today. And the Al Tirav di Yaakov, we have done a number of melodies for that. And
thank you. This is fun.
Beginning next week in Yis Hashem, I'd like to learn with you from this resource. Magen Avraham, this is the things on prayer that are found in the Slonim Siddur. So it has from Mamar Chazal.
The new Slonim? Which Slonim?
No, this was there's another branch. There's Slonim and there's Slonimah, like Belza, So the Nesiva Shalom is Slonim, and this is Slonimah.
Okay.
But they all come from the same Rabbi Avrom of Slonim. Okay. And the material from this siddur is really wonderful material on davening. So I took this out from the siddur and pasted it together. So we have the resource, so we're going to learn from that in Yis Hashem next week. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi Zalman.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. This was fun.
Very fun, totally.
And I really enjoy, this is the way in which I'd like to see the learning go, a lot more than a one-way street. Yeah. So, seid gesund und stark.